them random.
Apparently, they dragged me on Twitter. I don't give a because Twitter's not a real place.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of This Week on Hip Hop Twitter. I am your host, Vegas of Hip Hop Now Podcast, and this podcast is brought to you by the producers, the supporters, the people who give every month over at patreon.com/hip hop now. And if you say, hey, you're not a light bill, why should I give you money every month? Well, you're not giving me money every month. I got money. You are donating to the podcast itself. And the thing is if you like what you hear, right? You like the quality of it. You like the topics that you receive, like this week in Twitter, right? This is a whole nother podcast. If you like shows like these and they're part of your daily listening experience, or your weekly or your monthly or whatever it may be, visit patreon.com/hip hop now. It's not just about monthly donations to the show. It's also about one-time donations. And when you make a donation, you receive a shout out on the podcast, Hip Hop Now Podcast, along with timed exclusive episodes of the show, like my top 10 disc records of all time. Recently just released to the general public, but previously released to the Patreon supporters months ago. Now, with me as always, the homie Yintz. What up, man?
What's going on, Vegas?
All right, man, here we are. What the fuck are people talking about on Twitter today?
All right, here we go. This first statement was made, and I'm gonna just read it off to you. Honestly, MC Hammer is greater than LL Cool J.
Now you already know. You already know. If you don't know, if you haven't listened to my podcast, you don't know my stance. LL Cool J is the GOAT. I don't care how much money Jay-Z got. I don't care how many brown outfits Rakim got.
Oh shit!
I don't care how many child molesters KRS supports. I'm leaving mad Easter eggs for y'all. He is the GOAT to me, and I explained it in the whole episode. You'll just have to check it out. But nevertheless, Jens, I'm gonna have to ask you a question before I even respond.
All right.
Why would anyone think this?
Man, I got no idea. I think, since I'm gonna use that person's word, honestly, I believe that person's, talking some stuff just to kind of get a rise out of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically being a troll.
Yeah, I believe so. I really don't believe this person believes this, at all. I think it was something to kind of, catch people's eye, and it caught my eye, because when I saw it, I'm like, no, we can't be seriously saying that. And not that there's anything wrong with MC Hammer, but that statement is way out of space.
Yeah, MC Hammer could not be compared. Okay? And let's take the GOAT conversation out of it. I'm trying to think of how. Well, sure, MC Hammer definitely is a better dancer. I'll give him that for sure.
No doubt.
Is he a better rapper? No.
No.
He may have sold more records. He may have, because the albums that did well for him did really well.
Absolutely.
Whereas LL was usually hit or miss, but he was also platinum every time up to, like, from the 80s all the way to the early 2000s. But again, Emma might have did with one album. So maybe they're talking about that. But what I don't get is where this person come from. They came from the past, somewhere in the past, and then they jumped in the DeLorean and brought their punk ass here. Because how the fuck how the fuck do you explain MC Hammer not being relevant after Too Legit to Quit, which was in the 90s, and LL still going platinum in the 2000s?
Right.
Like if you're that good, I mean, longevity is now a part of the equation. All right, let's play a quick game. Quick game, Yentz.
All right.
Is there an MC Hammer song that you think, or album that you think? No, let's not say album because we know where we're going with that. Is there an MC Hammer song that is better a hit song that is better than a hit song from LL Cool J?
Fuck no. 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 No.
Pretty much. Now maybe they were talking about like shiny suit overalls. I think at some point they both have worn something similar, or suspenders, one or the other, with no shirt. Kind of like G-Unit tank tops, but prior to that.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm gonna say are Hammer pants better than the one leg rolled up Cool J sweatpants?
Well, first of all, what makes the one leg up so bad is that it was something I did when I was a teenager, but LL was way older than me, and he did it way later. Shit, I think he still do it now.
On TV, Cool J was on TV with the one pants leg rolled up.
Yeah, with the one pants. I think the one pants leg up is worse. Because first of all, you're older. This is brown outfit territory.
Oh shit.
This is you're blending into the damn, the project walls and shit. But I think it's worse because at least with Hammer's pants, I mean, he's like a dancer, so it's more of a costume.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A costume for a performer. So, I mean, come on, man. Michael Jackson was wearing all glitter. There ain't no way in hell he going to, the supermarket with all glitter on. But I think LL would go to the supermarket with one pants leg up. I think he would do it. Yeah, I think
all in the produce section.
Right. With just the one calf showing while you like, wow, we gotta look at that. Okay. Man, what the hell are other people saying on Twitter? Because that one was a doozy.
All right, so this next thing, I gotta give you the initial tweet, and then I'm gonna give you a couple of responses to it to make it all kind of come together. So the initial tweet is Cuban Links might be the greatest hip-hop album of all time. Okay. So cool, right. I mean, no beef, no idiocy with the tweet. That was the initial tweet. So an answer to this initial tweet was, I love the album, but would never call it the greatest because the production could have been better.
Oh my God.
And there's another one after this, but we can kind of let that sink in for a minute. This person believes that the production on Only Built for Cuban Links could have been better, which for this person would not make it an all-time great hip-hop album.
I can't believe somebody would say that.
Man, hey, wait till you hear this next thing. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't know how. I mean, if you listen to that album, I don't know how you can not just be, engrossed in it. The movie like production on it. It just that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to even answer that really, but
All right. Well, what's the third one? And we could deal with all three.
okay, so now this person goes on to say that for this album to truly have been, or to be considered a hip hop, all-time great, this album would have had to have production by Just Blaze, Timbaland,
Come
DJ
on, man.
DJ Premier, I'm sorry, DJ Premier, and Eric Sermon. That would have, and I'm gonna say those names again: Just Blaze, Timbaland, DJ Premier, and Eric Sermon would have turned out a better Only Built for Cuban Links than the Abbott RZA.
Just Blaze in 1995. Excuse me, that's when it was released. 1994 and 93, and when it was recorded instead of RZA.
Right.
And Timbaland?
Timbaland, yeah.
Like Timbaland was like, where was he? In line at Popeyes around the time? He was probably doing something, but with music. All right. Well, first, the first tweet, I think them using the words might be the greatest hip hop album of all time is the same thing as saying arguably. And I think they're right? Because when you think about it, it's like you can argue it. You definitely can argue it for a number of reasons, right? Like impact, lyrics, guest features, even like physically, right? Purple tape, right?
Right.
Like now let's not get it twisted. That wasn't the first colored tape. There's a dark side tape was red, and I still have it, and that came out first.
Word.
So let's not rewrite history. Let's not do that. There was a red tape before there was a purple tape.
That's right.
But so iconic, right? Iconic skits, and let alone you're trying to tell me songs like Knowledge God don't have dope beats?
Right.
And Criminology? I don't understand. Now the second tweet, right, was what was the second tweet?
The second tweet was,
Oh, the beats.
Yeah, they loved the album, but the production wasn't up to this person's standards. It could have been better.
Right. Fuck your standards, okay? Because what are you even talking about? What are you even talking about, man? This is RZA in his prime. A lot of people have RZA in a top 5, if not top 10, all time, and this is him in his prime. First of all, Jens, you know this. That first Wu run from 36 Chambers, Liquid Swords, Only Built for Cuban Links, those are classics.
No question.
You know what I'm saying? Like those are classics, and none of them sound the same. All of them have a different vibe.
Yep.
And RZA's generally the maestro. So to say the beats are whack, and then to name niggas who was like, where was Just Blaze in 93? He wasn't making no beats. Well, maybe he was, but he wasn't making the beats that this person's thinking about.
Right.
And in what multiverse is the Wu and Timbaland a good idea?
Right. And then you got to figure you would probably have, if Timbaland's involved, you would have some Magoo guest features
right
on Cuban Links. So
right.
Are we ready for Magoo swapping verses with the chef and Stalks? I don't know.
No. Are we ready to, brush shoulders off with Ghostface featuring? Come on, man. It just sounds, you know what? I ain't even gonna say stupid. It's irresponsible.
Irresponsible.
Just saying shit to say it. I don't get it. And what was the third one again? My bad.
Well, the third one was, if the album had production by Just Blaze, Timbaland, DJ Premier, and Eric Sermon,
okay,
it would be better held in this person's regard. The production would have been more solid, I guess you'd say.
So I'm gonna assume this person wasn't really around in 1995. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a check, because there are people who are listening who are younger, and I
Right.
say this on my podcast and other shows all the time. If this classic album isn't from your time, and you may like it, and it isn't from your time, you always need the context that surrounded the release of it, because you either was an infant or not into hip hop, or you weren't here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes. 1995, when this released, where were you in your life?
Where was I? Well,
I mean, don't give us a goddamn biopic, but just, a general, how
I
old
was
you, nigga?
around. Hey, look, I purchased the album when it dropped. Listened to the album countless times to this day. From 95 to right now, 2022, listen to this album. And I can't put no other production or producer against that album to say it would come out better or even equal. I can't even say equal. And I mean, he mentioned, Premier and Eric Sermon. I mean, cool. We'll never know, but I mean, I don't have a problem with those. I don't have a problem with those two names. But man, no. No, you can't. That album is not to be touched, to be remixed or any of that. It's what it is, and it set standards.
All right. Well, for me in 95, I had graduated high school and I was on my way to college, and I played that album to death. Now, the context to people like this person, they don't understand. That means if Vince was at a point where he can go and buy it himself, he was not a child.
No, sir.
Right?
You saying you just getting out of high school kind of made my heart jump.
Yeah, well, what the hell? You was on your third job? What you talking about? Me, yeah. I was on my 40th anniversary. Whoa, wait a minute.
That's right.
Like, this ain't the Sam Cooke podcast. Do you even know what Cuban Links are? Not sausage, my nigga. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this person is saying is this. We said this before, man, because of a couple of other takes. It only makes me think two things, right? You either are younger and you're into hip hop, but you came to that album way later. So a lot had happened in hip hop from which you don't have any context. So you're just taking fucking hip hop producers from the hip hop multiverse and placing them on an album they couldn't even be on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the other one is you're a foreigner and the album just fucking came out in your country.
Like I couldn't even I would never even think of trying to put any producer and any other producer as the lead producer on that album. I just, there's no way. There's no. I mean, and that could be said about a lot of classic albums. Like, I wouldn't take, a Gangstar album and try to turn it over to somebody else. Premier did his thing on that. I wouldn't say, hey, Timbaland would have did a better job on Daily Operation. Hell no.
Hell no. Like, there's something to be said about the chemistry of what was created to bring that, piece of work to life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Like, even when you watch the Wu-Tang series and you see how certain songs came together on 36 Chambers, and then you see how the album cover came together, and it was all organic.
Right.
And it's because of those individuals, their shared experiences in the studio. And this is what you get. So if you can't just place producers on there to make hot beats,
Right.
because Ray and Ghost in 95 is different from when Timbaland started to, make some noise. It was a different world for hip hop.
Right. Yep.
And he was probably making different beats. Like maybe back then he made beats like that because that was the vibe. But what did those beats sound like? So those are some interesting tweets. That first one was some bullshit. But
Ah.
it's interesting that people will really type that. But no, I'm not even playing, man. And I talk about every foreign country. Obviously, some foreign countries are up on hip hop. But this person has to be somewhere crazy where they're just like, purple tape. It's like you got the wrong album cover and everything on it, but Cuban Links is written on it. Something, because it doesn't explain. You just taking these producers from all these different decades and eras and labels. Because how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is Just Blaze and Dame Dash come on, man. Jay-Z wasn't even out. So how you gonna have Just Blaze? Whatever. All right. What do y'all think about that? Do you think MC Hammer is better than LL Cool J? Do you think Only Built for Cuban Links would have been better if Magoo was on it instead of Nas? Leave your comments.
Wait,
That's not a real
one more
question.
thing. You gotta
What's
add, do you think the Hammer Pants were better than the Cool J one leg up to the knee? We gotta
Hammer,
add that, dude.
right? Golden parachute pants versus the one cutting off the blood circulation in your knee, pants leg up by Ladies Love Cool James. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And also check out the video on YouTube, because the video version is uncensored. And if you're watching a video version and you're like, I am watching a video version, well, fuck you too. See how that works? All right, y'all. On behalf of the homie Yintz, I am Vegas. Just please think about your tweets, man. Like before you post them, man. Come on. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Drop it on the random.